Hey guys, I guess just a little update on the first week here. I'm not gonna do this every single week. I just figured, I started. I just want to let everybody know how, everything started out. You know, um, just so everybody can get an idea. Uh, the first week wasn't great. I did 2,000 miles this first week, which is, I'd like to do at least like 2,500 really is my minimum. I don't want to run less 2,500, and I kind of get that, it's my first week here. They're probably still feeling me out and, seeing how I run and, I guess, how much they can depend on me and stuff like that. So I get it, and not to mention the Labor Day weekend kind of screwed things up because they were trying to get loads to get everybody home because everybody was going home for the weekend and stuff. So they had difficulty finding me a load on Friday, but they did find me one. In fact, they found me a 350 mile load, and it was like 350 miles deadheaded, or deadhead miles, 350 loaded miles. So it's like a 640 mile total. But they basically deadheaded me like from Chicago to Kentucky back to Chicago, or deadheaded and loaded and shit. So they probably didn't make any money on the load. The same amount of deadhead miles as pay miles. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. It's just, typically you don't deadhead 325 miles or whatever, 320 miles to pick up a 320 mile load. But regardless, I'm hoping that they're just kind of working out kinks, and I'm new, and I kind of expected to hit the ground running, like, they asked me about home time, and I told them, like, I'll stay, like, I'd already been out for, like, about a week, and I was like, I'm gonna stay out for 5 more weeks, set my home time for in October, and then I'll go home then. Thinking like, okay, I can run all 48 states and Canada because I brought my passport with me, and this company goes to Canada. So I'm like, all right, even more miles. So I can go anywhere in this country and the country above us. Like, these two countries together on this continent, I can go anywhere, absolutely anywhere. And every load I've had this week is either going to Chicago or from Chicago. So it's like, Chicago to Southern Illinois back to Chicago, Chicago to Kentucky, Kentucky to Chicago, Chicago to Ohio, Ohio to Chicago. Kinda, it's basically like that. I'm thinking, I've been at the yard in Gary like 4 times, and I keep, like, I've fueled here like almost every time, and I'm thinking, like, geez, I sure am coming back to the terminal a lot. I'm kind of hoping that, like, I don't know, I'm going to see what happens this next week, but I'm kind of hoping they'll cut me loose, and let me get out into the country and away from, Chicago. It's away from the Great Lakes area, But, I mean, they had me sitting waiting for a load for, like, 5 hours last Friday, and again for like 6 hours this last Friday. Like, these last 2 Fridays in a row, I've been like, I sat for almost half the day waiting on a load, which is disconcerting, but I'm not going to pass any judgments yet. It's too early in the game to really pass judgment, on that. I was just like, 2,000 miles, I mean, I want to be doing better than that, but I don't know. I talked to one or two drivers that are in the national fleet, and I was talking. I'm like, I love driving the Midwest. Don't get me wrong, it's easy driving, but I signed up to the national fleet so that I could run nationally, right? Over the road. I don't want to be on a regional. I don't want to run regionally. I don't want to run any particular region. I want all the fucking regions, right? I think one driver did, and I think another driver here might have told me, well, that's gonna probably end up being what you're gonna do. You're gonna run around the Midwest, and every so often maybe you'll go somewhere else, but you're mostly gonna be running the Midwest, which is one region. And I'm like, I don't want to run just one region. Why would you have a national fleet if you only run in the Midwest? Why wouldn't you? I guess it's a blurred line on what's over the road, because people look at over the road as it's not dedicated, or I'm sorry, not regional, not local, but over the road. And to me that is national. Regional is regional. It's only in one region. Dedicated is the same damn route, same damn account all the time. Which is also typically regional. And then you got local. And I want to be over the road, all 48 states and Canada if available. So that worries me a little bit. I don't want to just keep running the Midwest, but we'll see. It's like I said, it's a little bit early in the game to make any judgments, but I talked to a driver yesterday. Me and him, we borrowed one of the cars that they have that are available here on the yard that you can borrow, and you can take them out for like an hour or so. And I need to get groceries. I got a new fridge, as you can see in the background there, and needed to get groceries. And the only one car showed up, so I was like, hey, I'll take you to Walmart. I was like, okay, cool. So I was talking to him, and he's been here for like 6 months or something like that. And he's like, I do 2,500 to 3,000 miles a week, which is good. That's what I'm looking for. I just would like to get there. So I don't know. Maybe if I go lease, maybe it'll be a different story. I don't know. I need to find out. Because especially if I go lease, if I go lease, I'm probably gonna go for the percentage pay. So the length of haul is gonna be less relevant than what the load is actually paying. And I want to run in regions that have good paying loads if I do go percentage and not mileage. So, if the freight's not great out here, I don't know. Just would like to be running farther, But, I got that 640 mile load, and then I ran a 790 mile load, which is cool. But then I had a 360 mile load, which is like an 8-hour run in total. That's a 1-day load. Like, I picked up and delivered the same day. And then I had a 390 mile load, which was just to kind of get me going, and so it was like 390 miles, and then, hold on, how many overload miles this was. I think this was like 700 miles, 360 miles, 640 miles. It's just, I was hoping to get longer runs. Like 360 miles is like I didn't even get that at Western. At Western I didn't get loads less than 400 miles and some change, which is like the smallest load that I want to take. I really don't, I don't want loads that short, but it's too early for me to complain. But, I'm gonna stay optimistic. It's a good company. I like the company, and I like a lot of things about the company, but I'm gonna need the miles, you know? I don't know. Selection year's fucking everything up. You know, I just wish they would just fucking pick somebody and figure it out and just be fucking done with it already. You know what I mean? But you gotta, you know, gotta wait till fucking November. Everybody, like, the stock market's slowing down. Everybody thinks the goddamn world's gonna end. You know, like, Trump gets elected, the world's gonna end. If Hillary gets elected, the world's gonna end. The fucking world ain't gonna end, no matter who you get. Everybody said the same thing about Barack, like, the world's gonna end if Barack gets elected. The world didn't fucking end. You know, it doesn't fucking matter who gets elected. It doesn't, you know. You know, this person gets elected, taxes may go up, this person gets elected, you know, they may pass some stupid fucking laws. No matter who gets elected, they're gonna pass stupid fucked up laws, you know, based on what they think and shit like that, you know. But I'm not gonna get political. I do not want to open that fucking bucket of worms. Fuck that. But anyways, hey, shout out to Joey, I think it is. Bumped into him on the yard, and he's like, hey man, you're from YouTube. I've been watching your videos since like way back when you were in Western. I was like, oh, cool. And he just started here, and we bullshit for a minute. And, you know, he's asking about Western. I told him, like, you know, rail and Western is night and day. Completely different. You know, and he was like, yeah, man, Western's calling me, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, if you're already working here, forget about Western. You know, don't just forget about them. You know, but I talk about all that in the videos I made on Western, the goods and the bads and all that shit. I'm not gonna give a tour of the truck yet because it's not how I want it just yet. But I will say one thing about, I got a new fridge because my Igloo died. And like I've got a Pro Star, a mid-roof Pro Star, and there's nowhere to put a fridge in this truck. You know, like like the Pro Stars that Western bought, underneath here is there's drawers, right? But the ones at Western, there's no drawers there, so your fridge actually goes down in there on the floor. But this one has drawers. So there's not really anywhere in here to put a fridge. There's no fridge compartment, which is kind of stupid. You know, like, if you're not gonna have if the fridges are not gonna come in the trucks, which they really fucking should. They really should. Every truck, realistically, should just come with a fridge. You know, unless it's I don't know. If it's an over-the-road truck, it should come with a fridge, in my opinion. Or at the very least, a place to put a fridge. What sense does it make to have a place where you can't put a fridge? You know, so, you know, most guys put their fridge, they put it in the jump seat and they just leave it there. But that's where the dog sits, so I don't want to do that. During the day when I'm up front, she stays up front too. And originally I had it sitting on at the end of the bed, and it was just, I'm short, so I didn't really need that much bed space, but it kind of moves around when you're driving and stuff, and it's just not a very good place for it. Then I actually walked past another truck on the yard that had his up there. I was like, huh, that's where the TV and stuff is supposed to go. But I figured, oh, let me give it a shot. So I put it up there, and I ran a strap around the top that you can't see, that goes underneath the top part of the cabinet, and it holds it in place, and it's actually really secure right there. So once I need to get a TV to put in here, I'm actually going to put it on this side, and I just switched to sleeping with my head at the passenger side. And, you know, so which is kind of cool, because there, like, and when I do a tour, I'll show you this, but there's a tabletop that slides out, so it slides out right underneath the door of the fridge, so I could just pull that out, and I can make food right there in front of the fridge. It's cool, it's convenient, you know. But my Igloo died, and I didn't buy a new one because I was gonna switch companies. I didn't want to have to haul a new fridge around with food and all that stuff, so I just didn't end up buying one yet, you know. Which, by the way, save up the reward points on your Pilot rewards card and stuff like that, buying shit at Pilot all the time. You know, 80 that's a $120 fridge. $83 of it I used on my Pilot card for rewards points. So I only paid like $40, you know. But that's all I've got for now. I'm gonna leave it at that. Boring video, I know, but whatever. This is just an update. Let you guys know how everything's going. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, rail's terrible and there's no miles here and you can't make any fucking money here. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the first week was kind of underwhelming, and I'm optimistic that from here on out things are gonna, you know, maybe I can get further out and start, you know, running better loads, longer loads and stuff like that. But, you know, we'll see. So stay tuned. I'll let you guys know.